All right, it is 6:33. I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is Tuesday, June 25th at 6:23. We have a quorum present. The current mayor is on vacation, a scheduled trip that was before the election. And with that, we are going to move on to the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation. Kip, would you give us the pledge? And we will have our chaplain give us the invocation. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Tonight we have an employee recognition for Officer Richmond. He has a 10-year service award. We appreciate his service and hope to see many more.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. Here's your pen. The next item on the agenda is reports. We start with our police report. Looks like Assistant Chief Ashton will be giving it tonight.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Stagley, council, citizens. So you have your packet, and we'll go over the spreadsheet for our overall stats for the reporting period, which is from the last council meeting until yesterday. Number of reportable accidents, we had 6. Number of arrests, we had 3. Number of calls for service, which are any police activity, 2,667. Number of reports for criminal offenses, 45. Citations issued for traffic, we had 356 for 941 charges. We had 2 citations issued for city ordinance violations. Warnings for traffic, we had 167 for 293 charges. And then warnings issued for city ordinance violations, we had 23, which gave us a total activity count of 3,980. Moving down to a more detailed breakdown, we had 0 assaults reported, 7 BMVs, burglary of motor vehicles, 0 burglary of businesses, 1 burglary of a residence. The city ordinance contacts, we had a total of 25. Criminal mischief, we had 1. Fraud, we had 1. Robbery was 0. Property checks, we had 2,346. Theft, we had 6 reported. UUMV, unauthorized use of motor vehicle, 0. In our TLC program, we had 108 to pass, 16 to fail, for a total TLC count of 124. Just a quick comment about that. If you look back up at our burglary of motor vehicle, we had 7. We were up 4 from the last reporting period, giving patrol credit that they saw what was going on and went into proactive mode with the TLC program. And if you're not familiar with the TLC program, they have a report card that they actually check a car for various criteria and leave that report card on the car for the owner to see. Down below is our city ordinance breakdown. We had 12 solicitor warnings, 1 loud noise, 2 loose dogs, 7 junk vehicle or parking violations. City ordinance violation citation issued, we had 3 for solicitors. We had 0 reported accidents in the roundabouts, and our other accidents were scattered throughout the city. Going into your packet, I believe the chief flips through here, that on page 2 you'll see a couple of yellow highlights. Just a quick comment about the cars that were broken into. You see several of them were left with valuables in plain view and the cars were unlocked. Unfortunately, some of these happened at the tennis court and the park. As we go to page 6, we have our flock activity, which was down a little bit. You see we had 43 hits. That's down 23 from the previous month. Stolen vehicle alerts, we had 5. Sex offenders, 16, 8 of which were repeated passes by the camera system. Stolen plate of 9. Gang or suspected terrorist alert, we had 0. Missing persons, 0. Warrant, we had 4. Protection order, we had 8. Other agency hot list, 1. And violent persons, 0. The next section are our arrests. We had a total of 3 arrests. The charges were warrant other jurisdiction, driving while license invalid, possession of controlled substance, unlawful carry of a weapon, and warrant other agency jurisdiction. And then on page 7, the additional notes. The chief wanted to be sure and point out that this Thursday evening we will have our first since COVID awards banquet or ceremony, recognizing the outstanding officers for the past year. That I think we're all excited to get back into that. It was kind of fun to see who came out on top in the various categories. We will be having that at Sugar Grove Church Thursday evening. So Mesa, the tennis court project is completed. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Ms. Colleen can help me exactly where they are with issuing the cards. I know that we just ordered additional cards, so they're in full swing. Grants, it all remains the same. We're still in our holding period. We're hoping sometime around the new budget to start hearing from several of our grants that we've submitted. Our training, we're still continuing with the legal updates. I'm sure the chief has mentioned about the increase in the TCOL mandated training, that such as alert, while it was sort of an optional thing, it's now become mandatory each year and will be going to twice a year. And it's each module of it, which I believe there are 3, they're 2 days apiece. So we'll have 6 days of mandated alert training, probably starting in the next training cycle for every officer, and that includes the chief. So we're both signed up to go to the module in August to catch up with this. Just a quick note that the morning of May 29th, we had our annual EOC Hurricane pregame meeting at the Training Center / Operations Center to plug in, turn on, connect to everything, which also simulated a server failure here at this building with our HyperSync and everything being automatically switched over to the training center. We had a tiny hiccup in it, but it did switch. But that's also why we had Wright Technology on site. That some of you may remember that if we are preparing to activate, that Wright is mandated to have someone on site to make sure we're all up and running and the transition as far as the servers and network go. So, but we were pleased with how it went, picked up on a few things we need to work on, but went well. Just a quick note about the applications that for communications, we do have one full-time slot open and one part-time slot that's open, and we have one application for each slot that are actually in the background phase, and then we have one police officer application in background at this time for our current opening for full-time police officer. And I got to meet with Ms. Colleen today, and we're going to meet again tomorrow on site for our pregame prep for the 4th of July event. And we're expecting everyone to come and see the fireworks. And just a quick comment about the IEP, because this is our singularly biggest event and also the most demanding because of everybody that involves. Everybody here at the city, but also Stafford Fire Department, Fort Bend County Fire Marshal's Office. The Safe Build, I believe, is the new name for the inspector group. And also, we alert our neighbors, both Stafford, Sugar Land, and Fort Bend County, of our event. It also goes to Fort Bend County OEM so that they're aware of us having a significant event. And that concludes the report. If there's any questions.
I have a question. On the flock hits, you said it was like half of normal? Are they on vacation or?
Well, so Lieutenant Denton, who actually reviews this, when he came and told me, we naturally, when it's that much of a gap, we reach out to Flock for them to check the cameras. Because if you remember, somewhere around November of last year, we had one camera that showed operational. However, the picture it was receiving was just gray mush. So we're having them to check the cameras just to make sure we're not out of sync or something's not working.
Yeah.
But when it's down, 5 or 10, you see we have an average. But this was, I believe, 23, which is significant, and we immediately reach out to them.
Okay. Thank you. The other thing is I wanted to thank you. The officers were at the pool yesterday for the swim meet, not only to make sure that we were safe, they're always around, but specifically watching the cars, not only for us, but also for the away team. Just kind of everybody, making sure everybody was safe. So I just wanted to say thank you. It was appreciated.
You're welcome. And fortunately, 2 of the workers are actually in here.
Yeah.
But to just give an additional attaboy, that one of the things that we're excited about is our patrol team actually picks up on these things themselves, and they start making adjustments. The TLC is the tattletale, because I was quite surprised to see that we were well above our normal average in activity, but it's in response to the things that we've been having.
Thank you.
Question for you, Assistant Chief. Regarding the BMVs, there was one at the pool area, and it said there was no video surveillance. Do we have we have cameras on that lot, correct?
We have a couple of cameras, but it does not cover the entire area.
Okay.
It's more of a access-oriented screenshot up there.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the problem with parking lots is it's almost impossible to position a camera that's going to be able to see everything once you get SUVs and vans and everything else parking in there. And so you kind of have to pick and choose where you put your cameras.
Well, and an example of that, so the public parking lot out front, we actually have 5 different cameras to be able to cover just that parking lot and the entranceways.
Okay. One other question, same
Sure.
subject. Tennis courts. We currently have no cameras out there, right?
Correct.
The courts or the parking lot.
Yeah, the only thing that's even remotely close is the school camera, which is covering the tennis court looking at the school building towards the playground.
Okay. So what would your recommendation be? Would you recommend we add one to that location? We've had several BMVs there over the years, and it sounds like there's been some issues at the tennis courts over the years as well. Would it make sense to add One looking at the parking area, one looking at the tennis courts?
Well, the police department loves video. That how many times have we come in and given our report and you hear where we've gotten a lead or solved a case for video. So yes, we would certainly like to see cameras there, but we have to make sure we understand it's an investigative tool. It's not a guarantee that it would stop what's happening, because on the other side, in the Brighton cul-de-sac, we have cameras there, and occasionally we do have a BMV. Sometimes we're able to get footage that we can work with. Sometimes the shot's just not there. But I don't think anybody would object from PD. Now, I'm speaking out of turn because the chief's not here, but we do agree that the police department loves video.
So, I mean, the council would need to talk about that during the budget session or advancing money, but also remember, it's just video. Is not actively monitored.
Correct.
No.
So the response time isn't going to happen until whoever makes the call into the PD anyway.
It's better to have something than nothing, and kind of, the issues at Aldi, they have nothing, and we have nothing to go off of, and it'd be nice to have something if it made sense, or if we had any extra cameras, or, it'd be nice to know what the cost would be, but something we can talk about at budget meeting.
Sure.
But with Mesa, we have internet there, right?
Yes, now with the tennis court, we do have the internet in place. So with that, the biggest problem we run into is power. The second is connection. Now with the tennis court project, they funded all of the things, the backbone of what we would need.
Okay.
So the
it'd be a
camera
simple
system,
addition.
that would be what we would add in.
Okay.
Kurt's house is just down the street. He'll put an extender out there for us.
$500 a month. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that any...
Next report is Parks. Colleen?
Good evening, Council, Mayor Pro Tem. This will serve as a Parks report for the months of April through June. So our event recap, concerts in the park. We had a full month of great weather during April. We were very fortunate that we were able to have every concert without any cancellations. We had those April 5th, 12th, and 26th, ending with the Light the Night event. And if y'all recall, that was the one that the Yak kids were raising funds for the Make-A-Wish Foundation for our local Fort Bend County girl to send her to Disney World. And they actually were able to raise $2,600. So it was a very successful campaign for them. We also had our summer kickoff event on June 7th, and we approximate that we had about 300 in attendance between the park and the pool. Great event, good concert. We had a local musician perform, and even it turned into a karaoke session with a couple other locals that got up there and started singing as well. So it was a good time. We also had this last Friday night our BFF and Junior BFF event at the pool, and we had 80 in attendance between the two groups. And our swim team organization came and provided concessions that the kids could purchase from them. So it was a really great night overall. Our upcoming events, obviously July 4th, and Jack touched on that from a standpoint of preparation and strategy to make sure that all parties have been informed and are complying with the event, to include the PD, the fire marshal, the fire department, the pyrotechnics. They have all of their permits and forms in place. We will have 12 food vendors and drink vendors on site. So if you haven't seen the list, it's in the handout that I gave everyone. So they have all gone through Fort Bend County Health Services, getting their permits. So we should be well covered for that event. This year, one of the other things that we're doing that's new, instead of the inflatable water slides, we have carnival rides. So these will get more people through it at a time. It also doesn't really tear up the ground because we're not putting water and mud out there. So I think that should be a good change, a good transition, again, to accommodate more folks at one time. Also coming up is our next BFF, and that is July 19th. I wanted to give you a quick update on our summer camps. We're about halfway through the season, and we haven't lost a kid yet. That's awesome. Or a counselor. So we're about halfway through. It's looking good. We're averaging about 20 kids per camp. That's comparable to what we did last year. Some weeks are a little bit more, some a little bit less. Next week is a shorter week because 4th of July is a holiday, so we typically see the numbers go down during a week like that. Swim lessons also are in full swing. They're filling up, and those are being taught by in-house staff that have been trained to teach these classes. And then our community center rentals. I wanted to bring this up because I thought it was very interesting. From April through June, every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, full, complete booking, all the months April through June. Over the next 4 months, July through October, we only have 6 dates available. That's pretty darn good. So it's exciting. That is a good revenue source for us. It is something that we always need to keep on the forefront, that it is always maintained and managed properly because it is a high public use facility. So we do plan on doing a couple of remodeling things this next year. Projects completed. We prepared the pool for summer season, and that included the building of the entry deck, addition ceiling fans, new lifeguard stands, rebuilt seating benches, and this was funded through EDC and general funds. We installed a new water fountain at the Helfman Playground that was also provided by EDC. We repaired the splash pad electrical panel, and that is an insurance claim due to an electrical storm that shorted out that whole system. Our tennis court access, as Jack was alluding to, that was funded through general funds. And as far as an update on that project, we are looking at making the transition in August because we would like to come back to you guys with a fee adjustment suggestion for the purchase of those cards. And that is when the other cards expire, is at the end of August. So instead of them having residents come in now to get a new card and then come back in August, I'd rather do it all at one time. So they do have access currently, and they will through the end of August until they get their new cards. So that's when we're going to be doing that. And we will do a marketing campaign to notify everybody of that information, that they need to come in and bring in their cards. We'll also post a sign on the gate. We did a turf installation at the Sensory Park Hill. I know most of y'all have seen that. So it stays green all year round, which is awesome. That was also funded by EDC. And then the goat and turtle habitats at the Discovery Center, we did some improvements on that. If you haven't been over there in a while, you should come by. So they have a turtle pond now, and then in the goat habitat, we added a window on the fence line so they can look over into the pool area and vice versa. And we did some separation fencing as well. We hired and trained 35 seasonal staff, which that is no small task. So that we also completed. Our upcoming projects, we'll be doing the tree trimming, the tennis court access conversion, playground inspections. This is something that we do in-house because we have a certified playground inspector. Most cities don't have that. We're fortunate that we do, and because of that, we're able to do our inspections even more often. They're very costly when you hire someone in to come and do the inspections. Per playground, they're usually $1,000 plus, and they do them about once a year. Because we have one in-house, it doesn't cost us anything, and we do them about 3 times a year. So I feel very good about that we have that, and that will be coming up over the next month. We'll also be doing our seasonal landscaping and irrigation checks, and I just wanted to mention and also thank you guys for supporting that change in irrigation to be able to do the weekly checks. That has made a significant difference. I know Ricky and his team are catching things before it becomes an issue. We really haven't had any plants die, which has been amazing. I know we've had a lot of rain. However, since we made that transition, it's just really been a great shift of maintaining all of the landscaping and the workings. So thank y'all. Also, we will be doing refreshing painting of the park fence lines and awning poles. And now moving on to staffing, we hired 20 pool staff, and that's our seasonal. That includes the lifeguards, supervisors, and front desk staff. They were all trained in lifeguard, first aid, and AED. We hired 10 camp counselors. We also, this year, we trained them in lifeguarding, first aid, and AED. And the reason why we trained them in lifeguarding is not to be a lifeguard, but because they're out there with the kids. It just adds another level of supervision while they're out there with those kids. They will never sit on stand, but they are out there with their kids, just making sure that everybody's good. And then we also hired 5 nature center attendants. And then as part of a new park risk management plan, staff are viewing safety videos 1 time per month, covering equipment use and personnel safety. And this is for my full-time staff. So we have them watching videos each month, just to constantly being on top of making sure they're utilizing safe practices. And then I wanted to end my report today with a reminder that Parks and Recreation, we partner with so many groups, many user groups, and this goes on throughout the year. And obviously right now we are partnering with our Meadows Marlin swim team. They are utilizing the pool area, bringing in swim meets to our community. We're supporting them, bringing them the barbecue pit, use of the facility, use of the concession area, and we're happy to have them out there. Also, Meadows Home and Garden. They're one of our big community groups, and they have a bingo night coming up on July 12th at the community center. Meadows Elementary, we ended the school season with multiple field trips, and we will be doing field trips again beginning this next school year, so we're glad to have them come into our nature center. They still find a lot of value in that. And we've also had other schools and school districts reach out to us asking about field trips. So we have done 3, actually, that were not Fort Bend ISD. Our Meadows Pony League Baseball, obviously we have a relationship with managing the fields, the field house, and then soon installing the batting cage. So we're working on that. And then YAC, they wrapped up the year with 15 students strong, which is fantastic. And then they'll start up again this September. Our children's garden, you remember we had the community garden out there. Now it's down, scaled down to just the children's garden. And they meet out there every Wednesday during the summer and during the school year. And then finally, I work with Eagle Scouts. And currently I have one that is working on an Eagle Scout project to put a bench in the park. So we're working towards that effort. And that's it. That ends my report. Anyone have questions?
Thank you. There's a lot going on.
Always, yes.
Question for you. YAC, what are the ages for that again?
That is 9th through 12th grade.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. And I hope to see all of y'all at July 4th. All right. Thank you.
All right, third report is our fire department report. 1 fire other. They had 22 medical assists with the EMS, and then just a smattering of other things, a couple responding to crashes and alarms and stuff like that. 50 trips total. With that, we will turn it over to the city administrator.
Thank you. I want to echo your Parks Director's comments about irrigation. I think the investment that we've made in irrigation has paid dividends, and so we've seen that out in the field. I also want to mention before I forget, if we're here late enough to where it gets dark, you will see 2 brand new LED lights lighting up the flagpoles, which is a nice new improvement. It should be well received. I have 3 items tonight, Council. First item is Code Red. As we all know, that is a system that we use to notify the public in very short order. It's an emergency notification system via telephone. At the beginning of hurricane season, it's always a good idea to remind residents to sign up for this system. It's very easy to find on the website. Your communications director has done a great job making it easy to find. It's only 2 clicks away from the homepage. If you go to the Community tab, you'll find the Emergency Information Center webpage, which is a new page that was constructed to help us consolidate and streamline emergency messaging. On that page is a link to sign up for Code Red. And so it also gives information about the system, what it's used for, who it calls. Staff tomorrow, key staff are actually getting together to have some refresh training on how to use that system. So it's an important tool, and we encourage everybody in the community to go to the website, find that Emergency Information Center page, and sign up for Code Red. Second item I want to mention is the subject of household hazardous waste. From time to time, we do get questions about where residents can take batteries, oil, paint, antifreeze, appliances, etc. Fort Bend County residents do have access to the Fort Bend County Recycling Center. I hear it because it's a county facility, it's run very, very well. It's on Bloom Road in Rosenberg, and so we want to, it's a regional center for all Fort Bend County residents. There may be a fee to drop off certain things depending on what you may want to drop off, but it's certainly a good solution for those that have, motor oil or whatever it might be, old paint cans stacked up in your garage. And so it's a good resource for our residents to use, and I wanted to make light of that. We do have a link on our website as well for folks to find where to go for that. Third, I want to mention, it says on the agenda wastewater treatment plant rehab update, and we can certainly mention that. On that update, we know that the new gates that we have to install have been ordered. The bypass plan that needs to go into place in order to actually install each one of those gates has been approved. That is a puzzle to put that together to make sure you have an operating plant while you're installing gates. HDR is now working on reviewing the plan set for the clarifiers. They've gone back and forth a little bit with the contractor on that. The other thing, kind of tangent to the wastewater treatment plant, of course, is the lift station. Today, this afternoon, we did a bid opening for the lift station improvements. As you guys might remember, we're going to be replacing the pumps with these variable speed pumps along with some controls that help control those pumps. It's going to be much more efficient, big improvement. A portion of that, about $165,000 of that, is going to be paid with ARPA funding. The balance is going to have to be paid here at the city level with our own fund balances. We did get 2 bids today. The lowest bid that we got was $650,000. You might recall that we estimated way back when we were designing this that it might be a $400,000 project. I will say the 2 bids that we got were very close. The other one was $680,000. And so HDR at this point is going to be reviewing those bid tabs, and they're going to go ahead and come back with a good recommendation for us. And so we'll be looking for that at a future meeting. But that's what we received today, and we're happy to move forward on that project. It's going to be a big, good improvement on the city's lift station. And the controls.
And the controls. That was going to be my question, the controls.
As I was talking to John Peterson today at HDR, there's not a lot of, there's not really any demo work in it. There's no dirt work in it. I mean, we're essentially purchasing these materials and then installing them. And so that may explain why these 2 prices are so similar, because you're looking at materials and labor essentially is what you're looking at. But they're gonna scrub those bid tabs, and we'll be bringing the recommendation to council here pretty soon. Well, that concludes it sounds like I'm getting played off stage, so that concludes my report tonight. That's right.
Nick, question for you on
Yes, sir.
Code Red. Did you guys look into text messaging as an option?
We did, and I talked to Chief about it. Do you know of any info? Because I know I talked to Chief about that.
Yes, we will be going over
Yeah, so to repeat, we're going to be going through our training over text message and email and how to work that into the system. Code Red, their big, I don't want to say claim to fame, but their big sales pitch is that they can do 50,000 calls an hour. And they call everybody 3 times, and whether it's a voicemail or somebody pick up, they'll spit that message out. But we are going to explore those other avenues as well. So.
Thank you.
We do not have a mayor's report and no council report either. The consultant is still working on getting the responses back to CenterPoint. And then I think we have to cut another check to CenterPoint as well for a permit request. Go ahead. And CenterPoint is finally recovering from the windstorm, so we're starting to see responses come in again. So with that, we will move on to the regular agenda, which is primarily 3 regular items that shouldn't take us very much time. Well, third one might. So E1, discussion and consideration regarding resolution number 2024-23, approving the Texas Health Benefit Pool renewal notice and benefit verification form, setting the employer-funded defined contribution rate for employee medical, dental, long-term disability, basic life, and AD&D, voluntary dependent life, and additional employee life coverage.
I'll
Courtney,
make a motion.
do you have a little bit of...
Make a motion that we approve.
Got a motion and a second. Courtney, do you have a little bit more information? I think there's no increase this year.
Correct. No rate increase this year, and the city currently covers 93% of the premium for medical, dental, and 100%. 93% for medical, 100% for dental.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. E2, discussion consideration on resolution number 2024-24, authorizing the city secretary to execute a cyber fund interlocal agreement with Texas Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool for continuing cyber security coverage. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Tia, second by Kelly. Any discussion? I'm assuming this is in case we get hacked.
Yes, they're making everybody specifically opt in now due to cybercrime just keeps rising.
And are we doing the yearly training that we're supposed to be doing?
Yes.
And it's that due date is in, I think, August.
Yeah. The only thing we need to decide, there's the Core Plus and the Core coverage. We currently have Core Plus. It just gives us additional coverage. So we just need to, like the Core limit is $500,000. The Core Plus is $1 million. So it's just the amount of coverage that they'll provide.
And what's the difference in the premium?
Yes, I think that's it.
4 plus $250.
So it's actually an increase of $50. It's a total of $250, right?
It's a yes, 250. Well, that was the previous year. They didn't tell us the current year. But it looks like it's only a $50 difference between the two.
So for an extra $500,000 in coverage, we get $50. Or is that a yearly, or that's annual, not monthly?
That's an annual fee.
At the risk of making a political statement, I would encourage council to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, the Core Plus.
Okay.
Can you amend the motion to do that? Or?
I think it's just the original motion. Do you want to go with Core Plus or Core?
Is it my
Tia.
choice?
Tia made
You did the motion.
What do you
so
want?
I'm not choosing. Are we going with the Core Plus, or what am I
I think,
changing?
I would recommend
I think
Core
that's
Plus.
the recommendation.
Okay. I make a motion to approve going with the Core Plus.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. E3, Discussion and consideration resolution number 2024-25, amending the City of Meadows Place personnel policy sections 1.2 definitions, 3.6 flexible time 980 alternate work schedule, 5.4.2 on-call callouts, 5.4.3 emergencies, 6.1 holidays, 6.3.2 administrative sick leave, 6.4 parental leave, 6.6 funeral bereavement leave, and 6.8 administrative leave without pay. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Tia, second by David. Discussion. I think we discussed this at the budget meeting and heard most of the definitions. It's mostly cleanup. We are giving the employees 3 additional holidays. We're going from 9 holidays a year to 12. We were apparently the lowest in the state.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And then just cleaning up some definitions in regard to stepchildren, step-parents, stuff like that. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to consent agenda. Consent agenda item routine items without discussion. Do I have a motion? Motion by Kurt, second by Tia. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item G, audience comments. I believe we have one person signed up. Kip, would you please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
I thought it was 3.
3 minutes, yeah.
Basically, what I wanted to talk about, and I was going to come last month, but I can do it a lot more tactfully now because I've calmed down. It echoes so much in here I could barely understand. I had a patio cover to be torn down and rebuilt. The one I built made it through the tornado that went over my house when we had the tornado through here, and it was fine. But the guy I hired was out of Katy, independent, which I only work with, and the rafters were going to be, well, it was going to be all cedar instead of pine because of the weight, because our soil tends to sink here. And so we got into it, and my mistake, I didn't know I had to have a permit, so had some problems. It took a week and a half, almost 2 weeks with BBG, which I know they've been bought out, but that's usually corporate change, not worker change. The guy that I had was 2015 IRC grade. It's to handle like 150 mile an hour wind. We went back and forth, my contractor and the guy at BBG, back and forth, kept going back and forth. Change this, change this, change this, change this wording. How many screws, where, what size, what length, this, how far apart are you going to place them? You know, it was just getting like, Well, we ended up, they were going to be 2x6 rafters and 6x6 posts. They forced us through the permit department with them to go 2x8 rafters and 8x8 posts. I don't know if you know what a 10-foot 8x8 cedar post costs. It's like $450 each. It's almost twice as much as the 6. And the 2x8s, with the pitch of all the roofs here, from a 2x6, you only have to take up about 1.5 feet of the roof to get to the rafters. Well, that 2 inches means you got to go another 2 feet. So you have to tear up more of your roof. And it just was getting me, and that also went up about 15 to 20% more money. The interesting thing is during that week and a half to 2 weeks, my contractor submitted it to Katy, submitted it to Bel Air, and submitted it to Sugar Land, just changing the address and the customer's name. Gal got approval with his original drawings within 2 to 4 days. And when BBG was bought out, the guy that contacted my contractor wanted to start all over again. And thankfully, the lady that's not doing the ordinance driving around, if anybody was online, you saw what she was. Gary always knows, what's that deal if you're talking to a guy, and if I do this to you? Blocking? Is it called blocking? Blading. She bladed everybody. That means when you're talking to her, she'd ask you a question. Before you answer, she would, which is a martial arts, get ready to go. She did it to me twice. But anyway, she wouldn't even let me fill up the fascia for a whole week. Thank God, no rain. Well, the city, I couldn't get permission to. Thank you, Nick. Finally, when you saw pictures, you allowed me to cover it. But let's vet. Someone needs to be, they need to be vetted what they are now.
Thank you for the comments, Kip. We actually discussed our building official at the last meeting, and there's probably going to be some changes coming up.
I'd also want to add that Nick and I have a meeting scheduled with them for July 10th.
The things you're doing with, did that have anything to do with the International Building Code? I'm just curious. Did okay. Example of that, before I get started, example of the International Building Code and how they go overboard and are not the best interest of all parties, including construction costs. Over the years, and y'all all familiar with it, and Kurt is, all of our loading, for electrical loading, is going this way. Everything's more energy efficient. They use a lot of electricity. And the International Building Code many, many years ago said you've got to use 12-gauge wire, period. I don't care where you, if you're in a municipality or if you're building to that, that's what you got to do. If you're not building to that, you don't do it. All the houses they're building that are not in a municipality are using 14-gauge. We're talking about thousands of dollars of just one item since they're not meeting International Building Code. All I'm saying is there's an issue there, and the only way we can probably handle it is to go to the state, and it's something I'm going to bring up, okay? Because there's a lot of expenses that we're having to pay for new constructions, remodeling, and whatever. That's really not necessary. You don't need 12-gauge wire now to run, you know, all your loading is maybe 10 or 15% of what it was 15, 20 years ago. I'm just, you know, anyway. Think about it. Terry Henley, 12203 Austin. 3 things. First one, Colleen borrowed up the batting cage, you know, for baseball. And we got involved with EDC, and we approved spending up to $10,000 to help them out. It's going to cost like $20,000 to $25,000 before they're all said and done. But in order for us to make that money available to help them out in July or August, we need a resolution from City Council that says it's okay for us to spend that money. Resolution for, you know, up to $10,000. That's number one. Number two, I sent an email to all of y'all, I think in May, about TML, you know, rep expenditures, and I was hoping to see that on the agenda tonight, but it wasn't. I'm down about 200, and I've got a meeting next week. It'll probably be another 400 or so.
It was addressed last week, Terry, at the budget meeting.
What's that?
It was addressed last week at the budget meeting. Nick will get with you.
Did it get through? Okay, good. Okay. And the last item, I've been approached by a number of citizens concerning ad valorem taxes, and it's people's fixed income is starting to bite them. Years ago, 8 or 10 years ago, when I was on council, I got approval. I think, Rick, you were the only one on it. Maybe, I can't remember where. Just Rick, or maybe Kelly, I can't remember. But what we got approved was increased homestead exemption to the maximum, which is 20%. So if you look at your ad valorem taxes on your tax bill, it's reduced by 20% just for homestead exemption. And our current ad valorem tax exemption we have for over 65 is $30,000. And the law says that anything above $3,000, you have the option of making it whatever you want it. In other words, over 65, you could have a 100, 200, 300, whatever you wanted. But anyway, all I'm saying is we need some help there, and consider it in your budget of looking at maybe increasing it from 30 to 50 or 100,000 or whatever. It's currently 30. Can we make it at least 50? I mean, and that's for over 65. Okay, just something to think about. All right, we'd appreciate it. I'm on a fixed income. I'm poor, you know.
Nobody believes that, Terry.
I don't have anything else unless y'all got some questions. Nope. Good. I appreciate it.
Anyone else from the audience? Council have anything last minute comments? With that, without objection, we stand adjourned.